So yeah, thanks everyone for taking some time out of your evening to join us on this webinar today. So as the title suggests, we're going to be going over national programs. So for those that are new, national programs are your All-Stars and Dynamos cricket. So we're going to be giving some key updates around those programs from the ECB. You might have seen Claire put in the chat box there as well. Any questions you have throughout the whole webinar, if you can put those in the chat box, and Claire will answer as many as she can whilst we're on the webinar. Then hopefully we'll have some time for a Q&A at the end, and anything we don't get round to, my contact details are at the end of this webinar as well. So we'll be able to get back to you and hopefully answer any questions you might have. So to start with, for those, we've got quite a few clubs new to All-Stars Cricket on the webinar this evening. So just a quick overview. All-Stars Cricket is a nationwide 8-week programme with a core ambition to inspire a whole generation of players and volunteers as well to your clubs. It's about giving 5 to 8-year-olds a great first experience of cricket. And part of that great experience is providing them with a personalised equipment pack. So that gets sent straight to their home address from the ECB when they sign up. It includes, the packs are slightly different for new All-Stars sign-ups and return All-Stars sign-ups. But you can see in the picture there, they kind of get a backpack, a bat, a ball, they get a t-shirt with their name on it as well. So what's in it for All-Stars clubs and centres that sign up? So all new centres receive a starter kit free of charge, and that's going to include everything you need to be able to run an All-Stars programme. So it contains bats, plastic bats, different size balls, stumps, ropes, and then it also has banners in there as well, so you can help market your programmes. So something that's new for this year is that for every child that signs up, the centre will receive £5 credit to spend in the All-Stars shop. So the more children you get signing up, so if you get 20 children sign up, you get £100 to be able to spend on kit. So that's slightly different to last year, where the ECB found that hitting those milestones, so it was done before where you hit a certain amount of numbers, then it kind of unlocked a different level where you could get more kit. They've gone to this method instead, which hopefully those that have done it before will find a lot more beneficial in order so you can kind of get the kit that you need to run your sessions. And then at the bottom there, so I know it's at the bottom, but really important to note that the ECB recommend that centres price their programmes at £40. But this is, you can change this to suit your club and your area. You can change this up or down, but really important to note is that £30 per booking goes back to the ECB. So if you reduced your price and only charge £30, then nothing would go back to the club. If you charged the recommended retail price, then £10 would go back to the club. But this is actually double than what it's been in previous years, because the ECB used to take £35 per booking. So we've got a slight improvement there. So that was quite quickly going through there, but important to know, after this, I'll email out the webinar that the ECB did that goes into a little bit more detail if you're finding that we're kind of flying through these slides. But on to Dynamos cricket. So Dynamos is a game-based programme for 8 to 11-year-olds, and it's the next step up from All-Stars cricket. And it's also perfect for those that might be new to the sport. So we feel that, so I'll put there, it can be run mixed or girls only, and we'll look at Club Spark a little bit later, and there's an option that makes it a bit clearer than it has in previous years if you wanted to do that. So for us in Essex, it's a priority over the next few years to develop girls cricket across the county, and we feel that the Dynamos programme would be kind of a perfect opportunity to get those girls sections up and running. So I already know there's quite a large, over 20 clubs already are looking to use Dynamos cricket to start up some girls sections. So if that's something that your club might be interested in and you need some further support with trying to get those sections up and running, then that's something we can definitely help you with. So similar to All Stars cricket, so children receive a New Balance t-shirt when they sign up for Dynamos. So they don't get kind of the full kit pack that you get in All Stars, but they do still get the t-shirt. It will have their name and number on. And they also get something called Topps Cricket Attacks cards. So it's like a trading card game. I don't really know too much about it, but I'm sure the children will absolutely love it. Similar to All Stars, so new centres that sign up will receive a full starter kit, and so that starter kit will have enough equipment in there to get 2 full games of countdown cricket started. Main difference compared to like the All Stars kit is that it will come with wooden bats, and then all the kind of accessories will be the same, but it'll be a bit of Dynamos branding, so stumps, balls, ropes, and banners as well to help with the promotion. So just a quick bullet point there, something to note that for those centres that are doing some girls only Dynamos, we're going to be putting on some Dynamos girls only festivals as well around the county. So it'll be a great opportunity for the girls to get together and showcase their skills that they've been doing in their sessions. And then at the bottom of the page again, so recommended retail price for this programme is also £40, but important to note here that with Dynamos, it's only £15 that goes back to the ECB. So a lot more money here is going to the club. But again, you can choose to charge what you'd like for those sessions. I believe the more money goes back with the All Stars due to the amount of kit that the children get when they sign up. All good to carry on, Claire? I can see a lot of comments going in the chat box.
Yeah, all good. Trying to answer them as we go along.
All right. So just a note on course delivery here. So we are set still to go live on the, so for sessions to be able to start from the 7th of May, which is what the ECB initially set out to do, but they have pushed back the participant launch date. So you might have known it was meant to be last week, end of February, but it's now being pushed back to March, so later this month. So the priority window for sign-ups will be the 16th of March. And this means that anyone that's done All Stars before will receive an automated email from their ECB inviting them to sign up again for this year. And then on the 22nd of March, that's the public launch for All Stars and Dynamos. So with this course delivery window, you can see that they've got sessions that started in May, and then they've got a block again in the summer. So it is actually possible, if you wanted to, you could run a course, you could run 2 courses throughout the cricket season, one starting earlier in the year and again in the summer. You can also run your All Stars and Dynamos at the same time, if you've got enough volunteers to do so. And I had a question come in earlier about enabled your club to kind of fit your sessions in. You could actually run 2 sessions in a week. So it's kind of like I know I said before, it's like an 8-week program, but it's more of an 8-session program. So you can schedule 2 sessions in 1 week. So what I thought would be beneficial, so with the ECB giving us those launch dates there, I thought we'd have a look at the management system for the national programmes on ClubSpark, just as a reminder for those that maybe didn't run last year. It might have been a little while since you've been on there, so we can have a look at what needs to be done. Before I come off this and go on to ClubSpark, so just a note, so I had a few emails, and you might have got an email as well from the ECB asking clubs to re-verify your Stripe account due to a change in financial regulations. So I believe pretty much every single club has to do this, despite whether you've got the green tick on your ClubSpark account. So what we'll do, if we have a quick look. So just on ClubSpark here, this is just a test club. So the first thing on there is we need to get our checklist 100% complete. So if you haven't already registered your club, nice and simple, just click on that register club button and that will move your checklist along. So if you're on 43%, click that and it will go along a little bit. So this, you've got all your key club contacts up to date. Again, if you clicked on view and edit, that will open it up. and it should hopefully be quite clear what you need to do from there. So this club here, it needs all 3 of its documents uploading. So we need a first aid certificate, and that needs to be for someone that's going to be on site during your sessions. So either like the lead activator or a volunteer that's going to be there for every single session. So you'll need to re-upload your certificate. Insurance documentation for your club. So detailing your third-party insurance, again, it needs to be re-uploaded. It needs to be in date for this season. And then your Safe Hands document will be what your county welfare officer has for the Safe Hands course. That will need to be uploaded. So once you upload those, it won't change your checklist percentage straight away, because I'll need to go in and then verify it from my end. So if I do this weekly, I'll have a look and see what's outstanding, or if you want, you can email me and then I'll quickly log in and verify your documents. So once you've got all that done, another thing on Club Spark will be actually loading your programs. So up top here, you've got the program section. Then you choose the program that it is you wanting to load. So if it's Dynamos. And then from here, you can add new program and get your courses loaded for 2021. So I know I quickly breezed over it earlier, but there's an option now that you can choose whether it's going to be mixed or a girls only session. And you've got, if you scroll down, putting in all the information, putting in your dates, your cost. So like I said, it's set at 40, which is the recommended retail price, but you can change that, all the information there. And if you hit save program, then that will be loaded for you. So again, if you have kind of any problems with Club Spark, let's go back to start. Then there is the Ecb Help Desk. And if you have any problems with the Stripe verification, you've got an email address at the bottom there. I don't know if you have time in the middle of answering those questions, Claire, to put the link for the help desk into the chat box. But no worries if not, because I'm going to email out after this webinar as well with kind of everything we've spoken about, as well as this recording, if you want to share it with anybody else in your club. So I'll take over the chat box now. So I'll hand over to Claire, who's just going to talk a little bit about marketing your programs.
Yes, lovely. Thanks, Lauren. Just quickly, there have been a few questions about first aid courses, and we're just trying to get the latest update on that. And we hope to have something that we can pass on to you before the end of today's session. Okay, so if we could just do a full screen again, Lauren, on the marketing slide. Lovely, thank you. So we wanted to tell you a little bit about what we'll be doing marketing-wise that's Essex specific. So when the ECB do the national programme launch, we will also be doing local sponsored Facebook ads. And we'll do these at the beginning, and then we'll also do it in a couple of months' time to try and support those clubs that are running programmes over the summer holidays. As well as that, what you can do in addition is to share and retweet our posts. And if you mention us or tag us in your posts, we'll try and retweet them or share them to our followers as well. And you can see all our social media handles down there just at the bottom of the slide. So if you don't already follow us, take a quick picture of that and make sure you or your club follow us on all the socials. So the ECB will be doing their national marketing campaign. I think emails have gone out about that this week, about the pushed back launch date. And we've got Chloe here with us as well this evening, who's just going to quickly take you through how we can engage some schools to help with the marketing of your programme. Thanks, Chloe.
Evening, everybody. I'm Chloe and I'm the education manager, so I look after the Chance to Shine project. If some of you came along to our roadshow at Chelmsford last February, feels like a long time ago, we spoke about All Stars and Dynamos, but then we also spoke about Chance to Shine and the school project impact it can have on your All Stars and Dynamos. So for some of you that didn't know, it's a free charity. And we look at creating links between cricket clubs and schools by free sessions. So we have 2 parts of the programme this year. We've got an engagement day, which is a free taster day session. And then we also have the whole school programme, which is a 6-week programme. One of the best things I think for this academic year we've heard is I've had no school cancel their delivery for next term. So that's really nice to hear. But I guess for you guys, something that you can consider is there a level 2 coach at your club that has a DBS, a first aid, a safeguarding all in date that perhaps might have a spare couple of days or even half a day that they might be able to go into their local primary school, deliver those free sessions, but also it's then free advertising for your All-Stars and Dynamos. We can tailor it to the age group you need. I've got contacts for schools and I'm more than happy to help you try and create that link, because Chance to Shine is a great programme. It's there to give every child an opportunity to try cricket, and All Stars and Dynamo tries to do the same at clubs. So yes, if you have any questions, please ask, put them in the box. If not, we can have them at the end.
Okay, lovely. Thanks, Chloe. So we just wanted to spend a little bit of time showing you the Ecb Resource Hub. So hopefully I'm going to just quickly share my screen. So you may or may not have already got a login for the Resource Hub, but it's really easy to set up an account if you need to, and we can share this link with you in a minute in the chat. So this is where you will arrive, and this is what the home screen looks like. And then if you click on the Assets button at the top, and then the different products, you can choose recreational cricket, and then All Stars or Dynamos cricket. So we'll just have a quick look at the All Stars documents. And there's quite a few things here, 85 resources available to help you promote your All Stars cricket programme. And if you want to filter by asset type, you can. We'll have a look at the posters. And it's nice to see that there are a lot more options for editable posters than there have been in previous years. And if you see something that you like that you want to download, you can download it to your own PC or laptop. And then this is an editable version. So when it loads and when it opens up, you can see that you can type your own information in there, save it, and then either share it via email, share it on your social media. You're probably not going to be doing too much printing out. And then if we just go back to the Resource Hub, you can clear your filters, and we'll have a look at some social media. So there's lots and lots of images that you can use for promoting on your social media channels. Sign up today, and then you could include a link to your club programme, just some generic big moments of summer fun. Course starts in 5 days, 3 days. So you can use these resources to generate quite a bit of excitement about your All Stars or your Dynamos cricket programme. You can also, if you want to, set up your own libraries or collections of media. So if you are wanting just to collect everything in one place rather than scrolling through every time you log on to the Resource Hub, you can add things. I've already set up a collection, Claire's All Stars Cricket, and just add. And then anything that you've sort of added to your collection, you can see all in one place. Quite easy if you just want to quickly add things to your social media. And we'll just quickly have a look back to the assets. We'll just quickly look through some of the Dynamos crickets. Let's have a look at all the images. So you can see there are several images that you can be using if you're wanting to attract new activators to your club. There's just so much there really to do with both All Stars, Dynamos cricket, as well as the women's softball. Anything really that you can be running from a recreational cricket point of view can be found here in the Resource Hub. So it's a really useful tool, means you don't have to be making your own posters, your own social media posts. You can just come to the Ecb Resource Hub and find it all there. Okay, Lauren, if you're ready, back over to you if you want to take over the screen.
Brilliant, thanks Claire. Brilliant, so yeah, thanks for taking us through that, Claire. So some really good resources on there. So in my roundup email, I will also send over the link to the Resource Hub, so you've got that as well. So if your club does know what dates you're running, then I would encourage you to start promoting that out to parents now and kind of letting them know when sign up will go live. So moving on, so looking at getting these programs up and running. So we're going to need to have some activators trained. New to this year is that the All Stars and Dynamos activator training will be run as one. So the ECB decided there's more similarities in the program than differences, so it didn't make sense to keep them as separate anymore. So I'll come to you in a minute, Cliff, we're nearly at the end of it and then we'll take some questions. So for new activators this year, they'll need to do an e-learning module, which will include the Safeguarding Young Cricketers course, and that will become available online via ClubSpark, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Claire. Sometime during April. Again, it's a little bit vague, but this is the information we've got from the ECB, that it'll be live in April. But the online induction that you have to run is going to be run by us, Essex Cricket in the Community, and we've decided we're going to get that in on the 22nd of March, and it's going to run, you can see the times there. That's not available to book yet, again, because we're just waiting for the ClubSpark system to kind of go live so we can load it, but it's going to be probably on Zoom, very much like this webinar, and we'll send out all the links and information from that. And that online induction is just taken away a little bit previously. That would have been done on the face-to-face training. So more of the stuff, more of the non-practical stuff, they've moved that online. And then the face-to-face trainings, we're gonna run it in April or even at the start of May. But we'll be able to get all our dates in before the 7th of May, when programs can start. And then for existing activators, so for those that have done it before, again, they just need to do an e-learning module, which I believe will include SYC, even for the existing activators, and it will be an online refresher training. So no face-to-face training for existing activators. And again, that online refresher is run by us at Essex Cricket in the Community, and we're going to do that on the 23rd of March, 5:30 till 7 p.m, and again run on Zoom. So they are some dates that you can get down in the diary. That will be definitely going ahead, but it will be recorded for anyone that's unable to attend, and we can share out that recording and sign off on ClubSpark that the course has been attended. Just one other thing to note, so I had some questions before. The ratios for activators, obviously I can't talk too much about kind of COVID rules. We haven't had anything come out about that yet. I assume there will be some kind of limiting with session numbers like there was last summer, but I don't know what that is yet. But as soon as I do, I'll share it round. But what the rules have been in the past is that it's one qualified activator per 24 children and one adult supervisor ratio of 1:8, so 1:8 adults per child. So what that means is if you have a group of 24 children, you only need one qualified activator, but then you would also need 2 adult supervisors at that session as well. So those adult supervisors could be like your parent helpers. They don't necessarily have to be someone from within the club. And to be that supervisor, as well as be a qualified activator, that person does need to be over the age of 18. So I think, yeah, that's kind of brought us to the end of what we wanted to talk about today.
Lauren, if you just go back a step and I'll just launch the next poll.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if
perfect.
you could just spend a couple of minutes letting us know how many new activators you think you will be sending on training this year. So just new activators. This will really help with our planning of the face-to-face training. So how many new activators from your club?
So those, well, it's only one so far that's voted 11 plus. I know I've had one club email me. It might be the same club that's voted there. We could potentially look at kind of setting one, like an in-house one at your club. Because again, I would imagine there's going to be some sort of number restriction due to COVID regulations. Not too sure at this point. But yeah, if you're going to have 11, 12, 13 people, then it might be possible that we can run that at your club as a bit of an in-house training event. But yeah, these figures will help us decide how many we need to put on. Hopefully we can get those dates out to you definitely the next week. Try and get those all booked in and get them live on Club Spark, ready for you to start booking.
So just while we're finishing, last few seconds to vote on that poll. Lauren, there's been a couple of questions about DBS checks. Is there anything that you can answer at the moment? I know we've got Phil on, so
DBS checks for new activators.
We can always get some extra advice if we need it.
So I know adult helpers will still need a DBS check if helping at more than 3 sessions. I can confirm that. That's right, isn't it, Claire?
Yes.
What are the other questions?
So new activators, do new activators still do DBS checks?
Yeah, so new activators will still need their DBS check done.
Yeah, so if there are any other questions about DBS checks, if you go to Essex Cricket Community Safeguarding, you'll find all the information under the DBS tab. And if you need any other support with that, just send one of us an email and we can help.
So yeah, so just on this contact screen, so I have a bit of a mailing list who I send kind of all national programme updates to. And I sent an email out earlier today with a reminder for this webinar. So if you didn't get that email, that means I don't have your contact information. So if you would like to receive national programme updates and things like this webinar, I'm going to send out the recording, link to the resource hub, kind of everything we've spoken about, then if you can email me, lauren@essexcricket.org.uk, and in the subject heading, put something like your club, and add me to the mailing list, something like that, so I know what the email is. I will add you to that list so you can get all future updates from me. So that's me at the top there. So Chloe, who spoke about Chance to Shine, you've got her email. In case you missed it in the chat box earlier, you've got the email address there for the Ecb Help Desk. So they'll be able to answer any of your Club Spark queries or any other questions to do with All Stars and Dynamos cricket. And you've got the email there for support with re-verifying your Stripe account, which needs to be done in order for you to start taking payments, ready for your courses to go live. So I think Cliff had his hand up earlier.
We've had one question come through, which we'll answer now. What is the refund policy if the programmes are cancelled due to COVID? We haven't heard anything specifically different to the policy of last year, where parents just had to contact the Ecb Help Desk and then got their full refund. Yeah. So I presume it will be the same process.
So that's what they've said again. If anything's cancelled to COVID, it's full refunds, no questions asked. It just might take a little bit of time for the Ecb to process it, because there could obviously be a large volume coming through.
Okay, any other questions? We'll give a couple of minutes in case people are still typing.
If any other questions come in, I'll just put this on the screen so you can make a note, just to let you know what's coming up next.
Well, there's nothing else coming through, Lauren, but you've got our contact details now.
They're all going to email me, but yeah, please do email me. Like I said, if you're not on that mailing list, or if you have any questions that are a bit more specific just to your club, then yeah, please do email me.
Oh, someone has just...
Can you hear me if I speak?
No.
You off mute, Cliff?
Everyone's muted on a webinar.
Oh, right, so you can't speak. Type your question out, Cliff, or drop me an email, or I can give you a call tomorrow.
Oh, hang on. Cliff, you might be able to talk now. You just might need to unmute yourself now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just a couple of things. I've been in lots of these meetings to do with leagues and clubs and all sorts of things. I'm hearing that although we're likely to be able to play plenty of cricket and run these sessions, the government and the ECB are going to be much tighter on numbers and other things that are open. So, say for instance, our All-Stars sessions or these sessions, we would expect lots of parents, and we would expect in previous years to have a successful bar opening and so on. I'm not getting any information back yet about the restrictions. I know you've mentioned you don't know the COVID numbers and what we can do, but if, for instance, we can only, if we can't have 24 taking part on one evening, then it really restricts what we can do. And it also restricts how we can advertise it, how many people we get trained up. So that was one of my points, that on all the things I'm involved with, I haven't seen any definitive information from Essex or the ECB saying, one, when we can start, and two, that they're going to take a lot more care that people are adhering to any COVID rules. So that was an area that was quite lax last year. Some clubs did it very well, and other clubs that seemed to, you'd almost felt they'd never heard of COVID. They were just carrying on as normal. So when you're running these sessions, safety is going to be very important. And I think getting the rules out before we're actually getting lots of numbers and people signed up would be very useful. So
yeah,
that was one.
I think that's what we're all waiting for, Cliff. And
Right.
As soon as we hear anything definitive, we will, of course, pass it on. All we're being told at the moment is just to plan as normal, plan for the best. And it's just a case of wait and see, I'm afraid, with that one.
Right. My other question related back to all things like DBS's welfare and so on. Some of the things, Phil Knappett would have a better idea, but I've been told, for instance, because I'm a welfare or now a safeguarding officer for 2 or 3 different things, and I've been told the course I did at Lord's last year online will now be extended for another year. So although mine would have run out in the summer, it now won't run out. And I'd also heard that people who can't get on a first aid course but have done a first aid course, effectively, say mine might expire in April or something like that. If you can't get on a course, then you can carry on putting your stuff down as a qualified first aider. But I'm not sure if that's correct or not.
No, as soon as we get an update on first aid courses, we will send it out. And if anyone does have any issues individually on DBS, please email us. We've got a dedicated website, that email address that goes to Phil, safeguarding@essexcricket.org.uk. So I've posted that in the chat as well.
So yeah, Bill Maven was asking as well about the update with first aid. And like Claire said, all the ECB have told us so far is that they're working on a solution to the issue that a lot of people aren't going to have a first aid certificate. That's all we know. They're working on a solution. And once I've found that out, I'll pass it on to you guys. I believe, Claire, is this right, that if your first aid certificate's not been ticked off on that checklist, you can still load your programs and people still can actually book on?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
But so the ECB are aware. When they know, I'll know and I'll pass it on. But
Yeah.
at this moment, that's all we've got to say, unfortunately. Claire, can you remember the ratio for Dynamos for the 8 to 11-year-olds, the coach to participant ratio?
I will have it here.
The ECB are waiting on the government. It's the same with football and the FA. Yeah, so we just have to wait with things like that. So yeah, so I suppose if your club wants to hold off kind of promoting anything, then that I completely understand. It makes sense because we don't actually know yet how many participants you're going to be allowed. But rest assured that as soon as we find out anything, I'll pass it on. We'll just see if we can find out those ratios for you. If not, I'll put it in the email.
I'm seeing 1 to 8, but I think that's all stars, isn't it?
All stars is one adult to 8, but
Yeah.
one qualified coach, one qualified activator per 24. We'll confirm that. I can't remember who asked that question. Alistair, I think I've been emailing you actually, Ali. I'll put that in my roundup email just to confirm the ratios there. All right.
Okay. Is there anything from anyone else before we bring it to a close?
No worries, Ellie, I'll do that. So yeah, like I said, I'll do a roundup email of everything we've spoken about and include the ECB webinar that goes into a little bit more detail as well. And like I said, if you want to be on that mailing list, if you didn't get my email today about this webinar, that means I don't have your email address. So please do email me and make it clear in the subject that it's for the mailing list and what club you are. And hopefully you next hear from me when we got a little bit more information for you.
Okay, thanks everyone. See you all soon.